the core reason of this video, and I'm going to tell you the reason why, in my opinions, why I feel that VeryDarkMan, Nigerians will always listen to VeryDarkMan. From the drama to the dragging, the X app has been hot. I don't know if it's only my phone, but each time I just open the app just makes my phone hot, because the content, the dragging, the whole tea is it's getting too much, you guys. And I'm just here to talk about everything, all the trending topics that I've seen on X this week, okay, yes, or this month, but it's just a bit too much. So you guys, I'm going to centralize this video on the Nedu VDM D1 drama. I know all of us have seen it, and yeah, let's just jump right into it. And yeah, my name is Oyinmamacita. Welcome to my channel. If it's your first time seeing my face, welcome. And if it's not your first time, you have been part of my family, you guys, I love you, love you guys. And don't forget to smash the subscribe button. I always see that I keep it 100, you guys, but in this video I'm going to step it up to 101. So let's jump right into it. As a podcaster myself, I also consume a lot of podcast content, from CNC's Madam Joyce to I Said What I Said, to a lot of podcasts. And also one of a podcast I've watched definitely is the Glitch Africa, the Honest Bunch podcast. I love most of the topics that I speak about there, although in recent times I've not actually been consuming it. But the very first one that attracted me was the one with Adala Pinky. I mean, this podcast, they call it the Honest Bunch, and I would say to a large extent they have kept it 100, or kept it, honest, as the podcast name suggests. But over time, we understand how the social media space works, and how trending topics and also negative content actually garners more energy, much more momentum on the social media platforms. And that also makes creators want to conform and bend their titles in order to, have, I wouldn't call it clickbait, but more clicks, more views. And also, as a content creator myself, I know that I try as much as possible to keep the clickbait to a minimum, but then I need the clicks, I need the views, and I understand and I could actually relate to why a lot of people, content creators, might just want to use clickbait titles, clickbait descriptions, or clickbait thumbnails. So just like any other podcast episode, the comedian D1, who was actually a Big Brother and a Big Brother ex-housemate. You guys know I've done the Big Brother content on this channel, and I'm a big fan of the Big Brother series. Yes, actually. So, and just like any other podcast, D1 was invited on there to come and talk. D1 is a comedian. I watched his lockdown season. That's the Big Brother Nigeria. That was the season that Lekon won. We had Nengi there, we had V, we had Neo, to mention a few of them, which are very prominent. And I would like that year, the lockdown, Big Brother lockdown, actually produced a lot of celebrities, prominent celebrities that we have right now, who are actually highlights of a lot of trends on social media, and you always see them trending. They came from that year. Although subsequently we have heard of them, but I would say I love that season, and I could relate to a lot of things that happened that year. And that's because when the lockdown season, it was 2020, a lot of people were glued to their screens. What we're going to do again, we're not going out because we were doing social distances. We wanted to be safe so that we could be alive. So yeah, that made sense. So D1 was an ex-housemate of the Big Brother Nigeria lockdown season, and he came on the podcast. And we know D1 has always been a controversial person. Even in the house, I remember then that they were always telling him to, because Big Brother had to complain to them, and it was the very first time that Big Brother met with housemates, not one-on-one, but like physically one-on-one with all the housemates. And there was this arrangement of chairs, and Big Brother was telling them that they are not being natural. And D1 then, I remember clearly, he said something along the lines of, he couldn't just act normal, because he, on a normal day, as a normal human being, he does not carry a mic on his chest. And that's understandable. Everybody does not want to just mess up. And coming from previous seasons, because of things that a lot of ex-housemates had experienced, it's always smart for him to want to be careful. Again, not judging. So he came on the podcast and said a lot of things. D1 is a very controversial comedian, celebrity. He says a lot of things, and we know that it's still down his alley. But this time he took shots at VeryDarkMan, VDM. And VeryDarkMan he's not an activist, because if you check his Twitter page, his profile says he's not an activist. VeryDarkMan has made it clear that he's not an activist, but he has always been vocal concerning social political issues and the likes. And this day, D1 came on the Honest Bunch podcast, just like any other episode, which we didn't expect to become or degenerate into the level at which it is now. And he spoke about a lot of things, and along the line he spoke about VeryDarkMan and the allegations of him being an agege. I'm going to use Agege, and that's because I don't want to be shadow banned or demonetized here on YouTube. So, and we know that VeryDarkMan, if you don't know actually, but he has actually put it out there that he had given to a man before, so it's not news to a lot of people who know. And along that lines, VeryDarkMan decided to get his link back. I would say that's how it seemed like, get his link back, because he said that he had known Nedu, who was his brother, like his brother, and he did not expect that they will bring D1 there to come and drag him, basically. And along the line, a lot of drama came out. VeryDarkMan to jump right into take his camera up and jump right into making a video telling us about everything. He spoke about he took shots at Nedu. Nedu is actually one of the members of the podcast. He's actually one of the most popular members of the podcast. And Nedu, he used to go by a very known alias as Yo. Yes, I knew him as a Glow ambassador there, and he's a very funny, he has very funny nuances, very, very funny comical expressions and everything. And we know that he's a comedian, and he is actually one of the, like I mentioned, for podcaster amongst them. So VeryDarkMan probably just looked at it and saw that okay, he knows Nedu and he D1, so it's like it was a setup. They just brought him there to come and talk about it, because VeryDarkMan mentioned it in his video where he was addressing everything, that they actually bait this guest into talking about a lot of things. They ask you questions behind the scenes, and then try to make that this point focus, why trying to play it all the while like as if it's not the main focus point of it all. And all of you like I mentioned before, I understand the pressure of getting clicks, getting views, because that is what drives engagement, and engagement brings money, ads and everything, and sponsorships. So I understand why some of them might do it, although that doesn't give us an excuse to conform into such pressures. So in the video, we see here that VeryDarkMan is just addressing everything, and there he accused Nedu of allegedly sleeping with a lot of upcoming influencers and celebrities that want to, I won't call them celebrities, I'll say influencers that want to get into the social space. And one of them was mentioned, which was Jojo of Lagos, and Jojo of Lagos had to come out, cry out, and clarify that everything that she has gotten was for her hard work. And we understand, as a woman, when you have achievements, how it's always tied back to the men. And although I don't like to use this word loosely, but it's the patriarchy system of the society, around that societal construct of a woman cannot get anything without her having to bend over and buy Benz. VeryDarkMan got on a TikTok live with her and then apologized to her for trying to drag her into it, when obviously she had already denied the claims. Nedu being in the mix, and seeing how a lot of this ties back to the reputation of the Glitch Africa brand, and also the Honest Brunch podcast. I mean, you're calling it Honest Brunch, it should be honest. You cannot have people trying to manipulate or trying to take advantage of other people, upcoming people, in that kind of podcast. So that makes sense to try and checkmate your podcasters or your speakers. So in the midst of everything, we found out that Nedu had resigned. That is what the news that came out, that he had resigned from it, from the Honest Bunch podcast, and he's not going to be there again. So he has stepped down from the platform. But in another video where VeryDarkMan was involved again, he actually claimed that he was sacked.
Good morning. They don't sack me.
And while that happened, another video popped up with D1 crying. I was so shocked, because I was like, oh my god, what is really happening? I don't know if he was even crying, but there was a lot of intense emotions with D1, saying that Nedu did not do anything, that if anything happens to Nedu. There's another podcaster, so I think Radio something, I'm going to check the name, I'll put it here, and he also spoke about it, that Nedu did not do anything, that they're just accusing him, that now he has had to step down from his job, although VDM claimed that he was sacked from his job. If anything happens to Nedu, they should hold VDM, that Nedu, he must not commit suicide and all those things. So now back to Mercy Chinwo, because we all know that VeryDarkMan is always trending for a reason. And you guys, the core reason of this video, and I'm going to tell you the reason why, in my opinions, why I feel that VeryDarkMan, Nigerians will always listen to VeryDarkMan, and I'm going to address that very soon. So for the Mercy Chinwo's drama, Mercy Chinwo was signed to a brand with the manager or owner, I don't know which one, but owner manager Eezee Concept, and they had been together for years, almost like a decade or something, or something. And we know that Eezee Concept, who was the owner of the label, claimed that he had supported Mercy Chinwo through her Nigerian Idol, and after he had supported her, she won about 7 million naira thereabout. Then she just took the money and vanished into thin air, and they felt betrayed, because they stood by you, etc., according to what he said allegedly. And after a while, she came back when he saw that he was managing Frank Edwards. We all know Frank Edwards was a very prominent, and he is, I would say he is, because one thing about gospel music is gospel music never has a time of season, or it never goes out of style. She came back and said, okay, Eezee, we know each other, let's do this again. And they had to sign a brand deal, and in trying to sign the brand deal, it actually happened in 2019, as VeryDarkMan claimed, because he came with receipts. The thing is, Eezee Concept has actually started working with Mercy Chinwo again 2 years before. That was 2017. So they signed it in 2019 because the label had not formed ground in 2017. So that is why they had to change the dates in the paper, allegedly. So Mercy Chinwo, the Nigerians just woke up one evening, one time during the day, basically, and saw Mercy Chinwo crying out, saying that they're oppressing her, she's been oppressed and everything. That he put out claims about her child's paternity, because there was a time that was last year that Mercy Chinwo's child was trending, and they were saying that he looks a lot like Nathaniel Bassey, and trying to put some clause or question mark around his paternity, which I found was very ridiculous. I will not understand why anybody would drag a child into this. This child is innocent, let's be honest. What does the child want apart from just waking up, eating, probably taking breast milk, playing around, and you are dragging a child? That is so low. So she claimed that it was Eezee Concepts that allegedly put all that out just to bring her down, and it's because she was trying to own her masters, and he didn't want to give it to her. So while she told us all of that, she said that she had handled a lot of things, that he has been oppressing her. While he told us all of that, VeryDarkMan jumped again in front of the screen. This man jumped into it, started his video again, because it does not take him time. I'm serious, VeryDarkMan does not take him time to just pop, and it is like, you're gonna learn. You guys, it's funny, his nuances are just funny. Popped up again with a video claiming about how he has receipts to everything concerning the Eezee Concept and Mercy Chinwo's label drama. So what happened was, he claimed that she was owing, to own her masters, it was around like about $270,000 plus thereabouts. I don't know the exact amount, and she wanted him to pay her back for her masters, her royalties. Yes, her royalties. And that's the royalties are just basically like the gain and the profits from distributing, producing music for a musician, basically, just to put it in a nutshell. So VeryDarkMan provided receipts, chats, messages, documents, signed documents of how everything went down. So according to what VeryDarkMan said, was from Lagos, where the case was first of all started, and he was actually invited to Ilorin to come and settle it. So when he got there, he was detained for some amount of days, which I don't really think is actually legal, but I don't know the workings of it all. So, and then he was being forced to sign or write up statements that he didn't want to write. So in the end, he actually paid her he paid 40, was it 240 and something? He cleared it up in the end. So he was saying that she did not mention it all, and that in the body of Christ, that she was still under the label's agreement when she was supposed to handle some events, and she did not show up, that they have to start refunding all their money back to them. And just trying to claim that, she's saying that she has God, but she actually has father too, because her godfather too also called Eezee Concept, trying to force his hand. So what she's asking for now is a catalog, which for a lot of labels, they will not want to release the catalog, because that's where the money is. That is where also the money is, like, what's their benefits for marketing you, distributing you, when nobody really cared about you. And that ties back to Asake too. Asake was signed to YBNL. That's the label owned by Olamide in Nigeria. And for a while now, from December to January, we found out that Asake had gotten out of his label deal with YBNL. A lot of Nigerians, mixed reactions. For me, I'm an Asake fan, Asake Shadola. I'm an Ashake fan. I always give it to him for his craft, because in as much as a lot of labels do things for branding, marketing, for artists, if you do not have the talent, you will go as far as you could, but not consistently. And for Ashake, when I look at his penmanship, his performance, his courage, his brand, his label had actually developed him a lot. But then Ashake too he has the swagger. Yes, he has the swagger of a star. So I always give it to him that he is, that I wish him the best. Although Nigerians have mixed feelings, they feel like, okay, he's not part of us again, so what's our business? That he signed now to the US. Some people were even claiming a lot of things about Central C, some Central C talk and everything, which I don't believe, because he signed to a label, he's not signed to Central C. So you guys just chill on that. So actually it ties back to it, because these artists, they don't really give them a lot of credit for the hard work they actually put into it, because a lot of people cannot survive or sustain that pressure. And we see when someone like Chinwo consistently do that. Although I will always have my opinion, or I will look sideways to trying to always monetize the gospel, but I understand when it comes to logistics, when it comes to trying to create a brand for yourself. I don't really know. I understand the logistics part of it all, but I will not understand trying to always capitalize off the body of Christ. To see that a lot of people can't really afford some of these artists coming in to perform, or you're a gospel artist, which is really good. They say it, you're a pastor, you're a singer, you're anything, you can also get a side hustle or a side job. It's not a bad thing, but to monetize everything, because we are human beings. We could easily get driven or obsessed with money. We just have to caution ourselves. Unless you're someone who has not manifested the fruit of the spirit of self-control, you could fall into that trap, or just make everything about money. And that's why I always appreciate that Basi, because for his platform, a lot of his platform, like on YouTube, it's not monetized. Why? Because he knows that the gospel has to go far. Because I will not understand how you do a gospel concert and people cannot afford the tickets. Yeah, so that's my opinion. So now let me tell you guys the main reason why I made this video, which is to let you guys know why VeryDarkMan will always be listened to by Nigerians. Anytime he puts up that camera, he shoots a video, he posts it, Nigerians are always going to watch it. It's not because of we like bad news or we just like negative things, but because VeryDarkMan, and here it is, always has receipts. He always has receipts. It's just like you're coming to defend yourself somewhere, even in a court of law, and you don't have any evidence. You go explain, no evidence. You go explain, no evidence, basically. So that's the reason why Nigerians are always going to see VeryDarkMan is not going anywhere anytime soon. Hopefully he does not get involved in any legal issues or anything. I hope so. I hope he's putting out, he's protecting himself legally, which is very important, and also spiritually, socially, and everything. We have to just protect ourselves in every way. But he's not going anywhere anytime soon because of those receipts. Nigerians like to see evidence. He gave us receipts, documents, signed papers, charts, even the payment receipts of the bank transfers of the royalties. He has everything. So even if he wants to paint his picture or his narrative, he has the evidence to back it up. But yes, let me just give you guys another topic, which is the Unizik student who harassed her lecturer, and she has been expelled. She has currently been expelled from Unizik. Now that video, I saw it. It was just like she was making a TikTok, and the man wanted to pass or walk by into the class, and he was like, oh, excuse me, and I think he just touched her or pushed her, not even push her, just like a shove, not shove. I think there are levels to shove it, but it's like, okay, let me use my mic. It was like, excuse me. Do you understand? Yeah, exactly. Something like that. Excuse me. Something like that from what I saw. I don't know how much it was, but from what we could see. And, she was like, he just pushed me and all. Excuse me. And next thing we saw was her basically pushing this man, shouting at him, harassing him, and people were trying to separate her. Calm down, take it easy. And she kept on pushing and pushing and pushing. First of all, the effrontery, the temerity, the gall, the oh my god, are you not even scared? Hey god. And this man was calm. I don't know if it was a calculated move, I can't see, but the fact that he was calm, every Nigerian will always commend him. The fact that a girl that you could give birth to, because we're in Africa, let's be honest, they put all those things up. Maybe how will you say I'm serious? Here in Africa, especially this part of Africa, they always say that elderly people, oh yeah, pushing your father's age mate, oh yeah, pushing your uncle's age, your brother's age mate, someone that can give it to you. And she kept on pushing this man, and people were trying to separate her. In fact, they even got to a part where there was this staircase, and she was still pushing. Are you not scared? Hey God, I have heard a lot of things. Not to say that the man or the lecturer was going to do that, but I've heard a lot of things of like just minor issues. Maybe you just talk back at your lecturer, like, okay, you're asking a question, and you talk back at your lecturer in a rude way, and then you're like, okay, you feel the course. Now I don't know, I've not experienced it like, okay, my own school setting, because you guys, I put out my video on my school graduation, I just spoke about some things. I've not experienced it that, okay, because somebody spoke back or asked a question that made the lecturer look, dumbfounded, that they now feel. I've not experienced this personally, but I've heard of stories like that. It's actually happening. Over sex for grades, it's happening till now. Do you understand? Like, but looking at it, if I want to analyze it, she seems like someone who was vindictive, because I don't know how well, but again, allegedly, it seems vindictive, because from the way he pushed her, you could see the way she was like, you see the way he just pushed me. She had already harbored it, like, I'm coming for you. So I was not so surprised that, and that's the reason why people could link it up. And the man, I saw a video where the man was like, okay, he just explained his own path, and it was very calm, and being calm that way, people feel unfair, like it's unfair, because I've seen lecturers where they're actually pushing and hitting the students. So that's why, ASU wrote to the school, or after the school had expelled, but ASU wrote to the school just like thanking them for swinging into action. Guys, please be careful out there. I don't know. I don't think anybody's out to be harassed in any way, both the lecturer, both the students, nobody. So that's all I have for you guys for today. Don't forget to smash the subscribe button. I love you guys. Mwah. Bye.